The first sign that something was wrong wasn't a phone call. It wasn't a delay notice. It wasn't even a warning. It was silence. The kind of silence that shouldn't exist on a film set. No generators humming. No assistants shouting. No last-minute rewrites being printed. Just stillness. At exactly 3:17 a.m., inside a sealed production office in West London, a single email arrived. No subject line. No signature. Just one sentence. If you don't stop filming by Friday, this will become a legal disaster tied to the biggest tour in the world. At first, no one took it seriously. Why would they? This was Fuze, a high-budget action film backed by New Sky Studios, already halfway through production. They had insurance. They had permits. They had everything locked in. Or, at least they thought they did. But what happened next? No one on that set was prepared for. Because somehow, somewhere, their film had crossed paths with something far bigger than they understood. Something global. Something unstoppable. Something tied to the Eras tour. And, by the time they realized the truth, it was almost too late to save the movie. There are thousands of films produced every year. Most of them follow a predictable path. Script, casting, filming, release. But every once in a while, a production runs into something so unexpected, so bizarre, that it changes everything. This is one of those stories. Because Fuze wasn't supposed to be controversial. It wasn't political. It wasn't risky. It was just another high-intensity action movie. Until a hidden connection emerged. A connection so strange that even the producers refused to believe it at first. And yet, within days, that connection nearly shut the entire production down. Not because of budget issues. Not because of creative differences. But because of something no one saw coming. A collision between a fictional action film and the most powerful music tour on the planet. The film Fuze began like any ambitious project. In early 2025, New Sky Studios greenlit the movie as their next flagship release. The vision was simple. A grounded, explosive action thriller set in modern-day London. No superheroes. No fantasy. Just raw tension, practical effects, and a story built around a single idea. What happens when one mistake triggers a chain reaction no one can stop? The director, Daniel Reeves, was known for realism. He hated CGI. He wanted everything to feel real. Every explosion, every chase, every consequence. And that philosophy would later become the very thing that almost destroyed the film. Production began smoothly. Locations were secured across London, including one key site, a decommissioned industrial zone near the river. It was perfect, isolated, controlled, cinematic. No one thought twice about it. Why would they? Until one assistant, just a junior location coordinator, noticed something strange. A scheduling conflict. At first, it looked minor. Just a note in a shared calendar. But the more they looked at it, the more it didn't make sense. Because that same location, or more accurately the surrounding infrastructure, had been reserved. Not by another film. Not by a private company. But by a touring entity. A massive one. And when they traced the booking back to its source, everything changed. Because it led to one name. One global phenomenon. One tour that was dominating cities, economies, and entire logistics systems. The tour run by Taylor Swift. At first, the production team assumed it was just overlap. London is a busy city. Scheduling conflicts happen all the time. But this wasn't normal. Because the booking wasn't for a venue. It wasn't for a stage. It was for something far more critical. Infrastructure. Road access. Transport routes. Security zones, emergency corridors, everything that Fuze needed to safely film its most dangerous sequence. And suddenly, they were no longer alone. The Eras tour wasn't just a concert. It was a moving ecosystem. Hundreds of trucks, dozens of restricted zones, entire sections of cities temporarily restructured. And unknowingly, Fuze had built its most important scene, right in the middle of it. The moment the realization hit, everything stopped. Meetings were called. Emails were sent. Lawyers got involved. But here's the part no one expected. The issue wasn't just scheduling. It was liability. Because the scene Fuze was preparing to shoot involved a large-scale controlled explosion, close to public infrastructure, near routes that were now connected to one of the largest live events in the world. If anything went wrong, even slightly, it wouldn't just affect the film. It could impact the tour. And if it impacted the tour, the consequences would be unthinkable. Financially, legally, globally. Suddenly, this wasn't just a film production problem. It was a potential international incident. And that's when the real question emerged. Who knew about this first? And why wasn't it caught earlier? Inside the production office, tension started to spread, quietly at first. Then, all at once, crew members whispered. Producers avoided eye contact. No one wanted to say it out loud, but everyone was thinking the same thing. Are we about to lose everything? Months of work, millions of dollars, hundreds of jobs, all hanging by a thread because of a connection no one even knew existed. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, one person began digging deeper because something didn't feel right. This wasn't just bad timing. It was too precise, too aligned, too coincidental. And what they discovered next would change everything, because buried inside the location contracts, hidden in plain sight, was a detail no one had noticed before. A clause. A single clause that suggested this overlap wasn't accidental at all. That somehow, Fuze and the Eras tour had been connected from the very beginning. And if that was true, then this wasn't just a problem. It was a setup. But the real question is, who set it up?
And why?